So the scan is completed in 17 minutes. Now another pause here. Because I disabled the Windows plugins, it seems as if the Windows systems don't have critical vulnerabilities. It's not right, especially my Windows XP has several critical vulnerabilities. If you didn't disable Windows plugins, you're supposed to see some more vulnerabilities for Windows systems. Now, to see the results of the Metasploitable scan in detail, let's click the Metasploitable Results 206. The Nessus Home found 10 critical vulnerabilities with our scan configuration. But please note that the configuration affects the results, so the target systems may have more vulnerabilities than reported. If there is a vulnerability and it's not found in a scan, we call it a false negative. Now, I'm sure you know that the critical vulnerabilities are the most dangerous ones, but that's where it gets good. They are the most exploitable ones in general. So let's click on one of these critical vulnerabilities, for example, bind shell backdoor detection. Well, look at the description. It says a shell is listening on the port without any authentication being required. This is obviously a backdoor. Here's a port number, 1524. Now, let's check if the finding is a true positive. Go to terminal screen. I use Netcat tool to connect. Simply type NC and the target IP and the target port 1524. And we're in. We have the shell for Metasploitable. Type who am I to learn the credential we have. We are the root user. Now, it was too simple. It's just not fun. And, I don't like it. I like a good challenge, right? I mean, we are the root user, and we can access anything we want. For example, shadow file, which contains the hashes of the user's passwords. Okay, back to the browser and click on the Back to Vulnerabilities link to turn back to the vulnerabilities of Metasploitable. Now I'd like to show you some more. Scroll on down the vulnerabilities. It shows 50 vulnerabilities per page by default, but let's make it 200 to see all the findings in a single page. Now the findings are ordered by severity levels, so information is at the bottom. Findings with a severity level of information identify non-vulnerability information, which is, nice to know, and it keeps it separate from the vulnerability detail. So here there's an info RMI registry detection. Let's click it. It says that the remote host is running an RMI registry, retrieving remote objects in the Java runtime method invocation system. So let's look for the exploits of the Metasploit framework, if there is any exploit for Java RMI. Open a terminal screen and run MSF console. So here we have MSF console. Let's search the exploits of RMI. Too many results. To keep it more specific, I want to search Java RMI. So we have 2 auxiliaries and 2 exploits at this time. So look at the exploit in the last line. This module takes advantage of the default configuration of the RMI registry and RMI activation services, which allow loading classes from any remote URL. Let's try to use it on our RMI port. Please don't worry, I am going to explain what these all mean. I just want to show you an example at the beginning, so bear with me. Type use at the module name with the full path. you can simply select the module name and click the middle button of the mouse to copy and paste it. Type Show Payloads to see the payloads can be used with this module. So I want to use this payload to have a meterpreter session. Again, don't worry, I'll explain what the meterpreter is soon, but just copy and paste the payload name. Type Show Options to see the parameters of the exploit and the payload as well. Set the remote host as Metasploitable 206. Default remote port is the same with our port, 1099. Serve host is the local host to listen on. Set this to be our Kali 222. Let the default serve port remain. So the other options are not required. I'll just leave them blank. Now are the payload options. Set the listen host to be our Kali 222. Default listen port is good, 4444. And finally type exploit to run the exploit. So there, it looks like we have a meterpreter session. Type sessions-L to list the active sessions. Be patient, we'll see them in detail. Type session-I, session ID, to interact with the session. And here we are, we're in. Now I'm going to show you what we can do with a meterpreter session in the following chapter. But here's a couple of meterpreter commands. sysinfo to see the system information. Hashdump to gather password hashes. Now, no such command for this system. Thankfully, we have an alternative for this. Type runpost/linux/gather/hashdump and hit enter. And collect the fruits of your labor. So, as you see here, we found another way to exploit the system, even though the finding was just information. So, I hope you understand not to underestimate any finding.